Here with round 4, I like to call this the by the numbers segment, where depending on what episode we're on, we discuss, who is the greatest. And with this, since we're at an all NBA episode, I'd say with this one, we've got Tim Duncan is the best to ever wear the number 21 of all sports athletes. How do you feel about that, Xander? Are you in or are you out on this?
I think I'm in on this one. So he is the best power forward of all time. He's probably the most fundamentally sound athlete of all time, if you actually think about it. But I had him and Deion Sanders kind of like back and forth, because Deion Sanders, he was that guy. He was that guy. But like, nobody is beating anything with Tim Duncan. Like, who's guarding Tim Duncan in the post? Like, honestly, who's actually guarding him? So yeah, that's the main reason. Like, he's so fundamental, it's insane. Looking at his highlights, of course.
Absolutely. I totally agree with this. I'm in on this as well. And like I've said on previous episode, like Tim Duncan is the catalyst for those 5 NBA championships that the Spurs have, right? I feel like he played on 3 different types of teams. You had the first type where David Robinson was there, and he learned how to be a great basketball player there. And David Robinson got the win on his way out in '99, and I think he was there for 03 for the second one, I believe, if I'm not wrong. I think he was there for the first 2. I know he was there for the first one, but I believe he was there for at least the first 2. Then the second tier, you have Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and, those guys that were there to form, they weren't the big 3, but they were the first trio, of our modern era that you could really think of that weren't considered a big 3 that you spend a lot of money on, kind of like the super team that LeBron spent time on. And then the third tier, I would say, would be when he also had those guys that I just previously mentioned at the end of their career, but you added Kawhi Leonard to the mix, for him to get the last couple of championships. So when you put all that in perspective, he helped mold multiple champions. Okay. Not just championships, but champions and people. He's also into coaching now with the Spurs and doing things, to give back to the game. So with all that to be said, you can give an argument for, not just him, but for Kevin Garnett and Dominique Wilkins. But when you put all that into perspective, they don't have the clout that Tim Duncan does.
Yeah, so there's no Toronto Kawhi without San Antonio. There's literally no.
Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.